Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be taking a look at a 1-hour trading strategy. But before we do, if you have not watched the first video on the channel and all the videos after that, you need to go do that now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. There is also a link down below to sign up for TradingView. You can save a little bit of money if you use the link below to sign up for your account. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Lastly, if you would like a list of all the indicators we have tested along with their win rates, but you aren't interested in watching all the videos on the channel, you can sign up for our $9 Patreon, and you will receive the complete list of indicators. We also would like to introduce our Patreon exclusive Discord channel. As a $9 Patreon, you will be invited to join an exclusive Discord channel where we will give you a list of winning indicators and links for the MT platform, give you winning strategies, post trade ideas, give advanced advice, and much more. So click the link below to join our Patreon. Alright, as I said, today we will be taking a look at a 1-hour trading strategy. Before we do though, I wanted to put the testing scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested a total of 42 different strategies. This one will be the 43rd, with 12 of them being winners. We've also tested a total of 492 indicators, with 204 of them being winners. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. So go back and watch those videos and see what you can get out of those winning indicators. And keep in mind that we test all the strategies and these indicators on the Forex market, but they can be applied to just about any market universally. Alright, so today's strategy is a 1-hour trading strategy. It was tested on the Euro versus the USD, and it consists of basically 3 different indicators. So the first indicator is going to be the BB stops indicator. And so if I turn off the EMA, you can see that we have the BB stops indicator there. To go in and make a slight change to this. So I changed the plot from circles like this. I think it was circles. Yeah, I believe it was circles. Changed it from circles into lines, and so kind of mimics the super trend indicator. And then we have the settings on this as far as the inputs are as follow right here. I don't think it changed from the default, and I'll link put a link to each of these indicators down in the description, except for, well, I guess just the BB stops, because the next one is just a simple EMA indicator, and so an exponential moving average, and it's set to a 10 period, and the style is just a basic EMA, or just a basic moving average. Nothing special there. Then down here at the bottom we have the ATR indicator, and so the ATR indicator typically looks like this, and we changed this to a period of 10, and we added an EMA to this, with the EMA also being on a period of 10. And so if the EMA was not on here, what we would do is we would hover over the ATR name, we would scroll over to the more here, the three little dots. We would click that. We would add an indicator right here. We would then search the EMA. And we would find the moving average exponential right there. And we would add that to it, and then we would adjust its settings right here under its own little name and options. And that gives us this right here. So the setup on this is what we're looking for is when the ATR breaks up above this blue line here, the EMA line. So when ATR is below the EMA, then we're looking at that as a weakness in strength. When the ATR is above the EMA, then we're looking at that as a strength move. And as that happens, we are then going to look up here. And what we are looking for is at this particular moment or close to, we're looking at a switch of the BB stops or a very recent switch that had already taken place. And we are looking at that point, again, the BB stops tells us what direction we're looking to go. And so in this case, we're looking for a long trade. And then we're looking for price action to be above the EMA. And we are looking for, in theory, the best idea is a breakout candle. And say a relatively large candle like this that breaks above the recent price action. Then we would enter into that right here as a long. At that point, we would set our stop right down here at the BB stops line, and then we would aim for a risk to reward of 3 to 1. So long position right there. We would then put that right there. Our stops right about where it needs to be. And then we would aim for, well, I got all messed up. Let's try that again. Delete that and put that right back there. And like I said, a 3 to 1 would put us right about there, would be our target. And so you can see that price action makes a decent little push to the upside, but unfortunately it's not quite able to hit that take profit. And we actually pick up our next signal is going to be right here on this one. And so again, if we look down at our ATR, even though it's sloping down pretty heavily there, we get a break back to the upside right here, just as we get a switch of the BB stops to red with the red arrow pointing down, looking for a short. And this is kind of a breakout candle right here as it breaks down below the recent price action over here. And once again, we would enter into this short position. We would be set about there. Our stop would be right about there, right above the BB stops line. And then we would aim for that, that 3 to 1 risk reward. Puts us right about there. And unfortunately, once again, we missed that target. Just barely, but we did miss it. And so that's the setup. That's what we are looking for. What I'm going to do here is go ahead and fast forward through the 50 trade test. And once we get that done, we will pick it up at the end of that. Take a look at what this was able to achieve. All right, so that puts us at the testing right there. Before we take a look at what this was able to achieve, now would be a good time to say that if you are interested in excelling your trading knowledge, I highly recommend that you join our Patreon-only channel on our Discord server. You can find a link to our Patreon down below, as well as a link to our Discord. Once you sign up as a patron, it'll give you access to the Patreon-only channel, where we post some really great advanced information about trading strategies, trading indicators, trading philosophy in general. Our admin, Jay, and some of the regular members post almost everyday market analysis, where they put up screenshots of charts where they've marked out areas of support and resistance, indicators that they're using, exactly when they're entering trades, exiting trades, taking profits, the whole deal. They're growing small accounts really quickly with the information that they're putting out for everyone to see. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you'll get access to the full list of indicators that we have tested, and that shows exactly which indicators were winners, which ones are losers, as well as their win rates. We've recently had that transferred over into an Excel sheet, and so you'll get the Excel sheet and the PDF of all those indicators. You'll also get the full list of strategies that we have tested, and that shows exactly which strategies were winners, which ones were losers, as well as their win rates, and links to go back and review those videos. And another new thing that we've been doing here recently is one of our members has put together an amazing team of traders, coders, and developers, and together they have created a full suite of optimized indicators that they are giving away for free to all of our patrons. And they're actually working on turning those into trading bots as well. And once they have that taken care of, they will be offering that to the patrons as well. So there is a ton of benefits to becoming a patron of the channel, and it doesn't cost hardly anything at all. I highly recommend it. All right. So what was this able to achieve altogether? Well, we did a 50 trade test, and out of the 50 trades, we ended up with 18 winners. We ended up with 32 losers. Now, keep in mind that some of the 18 winners were not full winners, and so sometimes we didn't quite hit our take profit, but we ended up with a signal being displayed in the opposite direction, causing us to then stop out of the trade we were initially in and open a new trade, and we did that with some profit to gain. And so all in all, it's not a horrible strategy. It's if we were looking at it with the risk reward of 3 to 1, then we'd be looking at say we risk $100 per trade. And so if we looked at it in that fashion, we would have gained, let's say we risked $100 per trade, which means that we would gain $300 per win. And so that would put us at a gain of about $5,400, and that would put us at a loss of $3,200. And so that ends up with a total profit at that point of $2,200. Now, the problem with that is, again, not all of the winners were full winners. And another thing that we have to keep in mind, and I've said this multiple times before, is that when you have such a drastic imbalance from wins to losses, and you have a lot more losing trades than you do winners, then it really wears on you mentally, and that can be very challenging to take losing trade after losing trade after losing trade, even if you are in the long run making a small gain out of it. Mentally and psychologically, it can be really hard to maintain a strategy that you feel like you're constantly losing on when you are really giving it your best. And so I'm not too fond of this one. I feel like you could make a slight profit on it, but I feel like in the long run it might be detrimental, and you might actually start to steadily decrease the profit you're making as time goes on, and you continue to take the wins that aren't full wins. Now, there are some bits and pieces of this that I did find very fascinating, and that's using the ATR in this fashion seemed to give some really decent insight into when a particular pair or stock, whatever you want to call it, when it is moving in a specific defined direction, a trending direction that you can really identify, then you can notice these pullbacks have a lot of weak momentum when it comes to the ATR. And so typically you see these areas where the ATR is really low, dropping as you get these small pullbacks. And I feel like that was a really interesting aspect to this, which might be able to be applied to other areas. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. That way it doesn't get any longer. This one's going to go on the no list. We will move on to testing some more indicators from here.